Halloween is almost here, and that means we tend to focus on things that are filled with horror, scary, frightening, or just make us aware of the darker side of life. And certainly, while we are in the middle of the Halloween festivities and all of the fun, it's perfectly okay to see a scary movie or a horror movie or put together a Halloween costume that is more based on fright and fear than beauty and sharing love. The only thing we need to remember is to leave Halloween after it has passed. We don't want to take that energy of fear and fright with us throughout the rest of the year. If we begin living our lives in a place of fear or from a place of fear, that means the only thing that we're going to attract to us is things that are also constructed from fear. So if you're looking for a simple, easy way to let go of what you don't want and to start bringing in more of what you do want, the first thing you need to do is step away from fear. Welcome, everyone. It's Marcia Martin, the Heart Healer, here with your message from Mother God for the Monday before Halloween. And as you may have guessed, her message for us this week is all about fear. But before we look at her message, let's just take a look. I wrote down a couple of reasons that why we're celebrating Halloween so that you'll get used to taking the fear out of a situation. So Halloween is actually called Saints' Evening because it was considered a very high holy day. These 3 days are considered very high holy days when we pay homage or reverence to those saints and other beings that have already returned to the energetic realm. It's a way to honor those who were here before us instead of being frightened by things that we don't understand. Now, the other thing that it's important for us to understand about Halloween is that it would have been a harvest festival. Now, remember, when these festivals, when these occasions or these holidays were first being celebrated, we were in an agrarian society. That means that we were growers and, sorry, got cat hair here. We were growers and ate everything that we harvested. So it was very important that the harvest was plentiful. So there would be a festival for when the planting began so that you could appease the gods or whomever it was you believed in that more primitive time was responsible for making sure that you ate through the winter. And then again, there would be a festival when you had the harvest to say thank you, to express gratitude for allowing you to have this magnificent harvest so that you and your family could eat throughout the long winter. Remember, there's no technology in this time, so if you want to eat, you had to be a good farmer. But part of farming at that time was making peace with whatever God or representative you believed controlled the weather. So these festivals were always surrounding or in response to either the beginning of the planting cycle or the end of the planting cycle as a way to get everybody excited and grateful and in line with being able to receive a bountiful harvest. So we would have been celebrating not just Halloween, which is the saint's evening, but also the end of a successful growing season. And part of the harvest that is, of course, most important is that we get the crops in on time before the weather ruins them. That's why these festivals are always held as a big celebration, because everyone will have been working really hard in order to make sure that they get the most out of this harvest and that their winter will be the easiest one possible. And an easy winter in that time was a winter in which you could be well fed. So we are very keen to say thank you and to celebrate anytime things are going well surrounding any of the planting or the harvesting. This celebration would also be a way to honor what was and to ensure continued good fortune. And one of the ways that they would want to do that would be to honor those beings they considered saints or other beings that they felt, even if they weren't saints, they may be trying to ward off the evil energy that may bring drought or may bring too much rain or may cause their harvest to have some kind of difficulty. So they were always looking for ways that they could cooperate with the natural kingdom, but believed that they had no control. They didn't know about law of attraction. They believed that everything was kind of catch as catch can. They had to be extra good or really wonderful at preparing sacrifices if the gods were going to shine on them and give them this wonderful harvest. And because they were a very superstitious people, yes, they came from a very fear-based place. And so it became, well, we need to ward off evil. So we need to wear a mask, or we need to not be afraid of the dead, or we're going to scare away any of the evil beings. And people began to dress up in scary costumes so that they knew that by scaring away the evil, they could absolutely ensure that their family, that they themselves would receive good fortune throughout the year. And that's where this whole custom came from. But today, Mother says, we know better. It's wonderful to celebrate Halloween, to have a wonderful time, to find reasons to be joyous. But it's not a great idea to be afraid, because we know if we are thinking about things that we're afraid of, that is what we're going to be attracting to us, especially when we attach emotion to it and we get really caught up in the what ifs. So today, Mother is asking us to step away from fear. So let's look at what she has to say to us today. And she begins, Dearest hearts, as you approach the holiday known as Halloween, which has become synonymous with fear, fright, and horror, it will be easy for many of you to slip into a place of fear, that dark place where things can happen to you, bad things that will take you away from whatever joy you may have found. Now, if you're living your life in that place of fear, you have begun feeding the fear. But we say to you this day, cast off fear. Stop allowing that which is outside of you to control your life. Stop believing the lies and drama you're being fed by your ego and come home to your authentic self. When you stop looking outside of yourself for approval, for validation, or for that which you should do next, you discover a safe and welcoming space inside yourself. When you look at all that you really are, instead of all that you hoped you could be, or have been told that you are, you'll discover a place of authenticity that is filled with wisdom. A genuine space of knowing, rather than the illusion thrust upon you by the physical world. We always have to remember much of what we're looking at is not real. If you are looking at fear, if you are looking at things that don't feel right, they are not a part of that which is coming to you from God. They were created through the ego and they are an illusion. You need to look right past them to that safe, sound, solid place that is the divine. This Halloween, when you honor the past and present saints, we want you to include yourself among the wise and wonderful of the world. Isn't that a wonderful idea? Mother is saying, yes, there are many people that we celebrate as saints, and now you should consider yourself among those treasured saints. You are just that marvelous. It is our deepest desire that you see yourselves as all that you are, in your fullness rather than your vacancy, by looking within where truth resides. Yes, you will have to renounce the illusion of fear and embrace the truth that you are always safe and loved. But it's from this place of unconditional love that you can change the world. In love, you make a positive difference. Begin today by releasing fear and accepting love. You'll transform your own life and give others the courage to choose love. Now, I'm not suggesting that you stop celebrating Halloween. I want you to have the absolute best time you can and the most joy every day of the year. I just don't want you to take it seriously. Have a great time. Go to lots of parties. Wear a scary mask if that feels good to you, or a beautiful costume if that feels good to you. But please don't take it seriously. Understand it's just a holiday that used to be celebrated as the end of the harvest, a way to say thank you for the wonderful bounty that they received, and a way to ward off evil so that they would be well through the winters, which were often quite harsh. But today we have central heating, we have warm clothing, we have warm houses. We are not in danger from the elements. We don't need to participate in the same fear-filled activities that our ancestors may have participated in. Are there reasons to be afraid? Well, that's an interesting question. Not really. There are things that may appear to be fearful. There are things that you may not understand. But within each one of you, there is an authentic being, and that authentic self is capable of connecting with the divine and receiving guidance and information about absolutely every situation that you may be curious about, needing guidance about, or needing just to understand. So instead of stepping into fear, I want you to step into faith. Until next Sunday, I am sending you, actually Monday, sorry about that, until next Monday, I'm sending you all my love. And I want you to remember that if you desire more information, you feel that this is great stuff, but you need even more guidance, you can join me on Patreon, where I have packed that beginning tier, which is the only one that's active right now. I've packed that beginning tier filled with tips and techniques for you. Go to my website. All this information is below the video. Go to my website, marciamartinthehearthealer.com. There are classes that will instruct you on specific techniques. There is the Patreon community that is growing every day that will help you through videos get a hold of information that you may need at any given time. Also, on Sundays, I do a podcast. And you are welcome to call in and ask any question you may have during that time as well. There are so many ways that you can receive information. You are not alone. You are not lost. You just have to reach out to receive the help that you desire. So all the information is below the video. Please subscribe if you are enjoying these videos so that you will know every time there's a new message from Mother God. Again, until next Monday, I am sending you all my love, and I do so appreciate each and every one of you.